Hey, good morning. Thanks for connecting with us here. This week we've been trying to remind ourselves of the importance of unity among Jesus followers. And I don't know if you've noticed, but this has become increasingly difficult, seemingly impossible during this election year. And yet in John 17, Jesus prays for his disciples, those who are with him, about this very thing. Initially, it's about his closest followers at that point, that God would protect them from the evil one, because very shortly he would send them out into the world and he wouldn't physically be with them anymore. I don't know if you can imagine his concern for his friends. But then Jesus prays for us. And I want to take you back to Jesus' prayer that we looked at on Sunday. It comes out of John chapter 17 again. It begins in verse 20. My prayer is not for them alone. I pray also for those who will believe in me through their message, that all of them may be one, Father, just as you are in me and I am in you. May they also be in us, so that the world may believe that you have sent me. I've given them the glory that you gave me, that they may be one as we are one, I and them and you and me, so that they may be brought to complete unity. Then, or in other words, that's how, or this is why, or this will be the reason, right? Jesus says, then the world will know that you have sent me and have loved them, even as you have loved me. Jesus is saying that our unity is vitally important to kingdom success. And we find this idea not only caught traction and survived with the disciples in that day, but it actually passed into the early church. This concept of church unity is prevalent through Paul's letters. It's almost the underlying request in each of his messages to the congregations. For instance, to the congregation that met in Ephesus, he writes, make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. There's one body, one Spirit, one hope, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all. To the congregation that met in Philippi, he says, make my joy complete by being like-minded, having the same love, being one in spirit and in purpose. In the letter to the Colossian church in chapter 3, and I don't know if you noticed, we're literally walking through the New Testament at this point. He says, even more than all this, clothe yourselves in love. Love is what holds you all together in perfect unity. Listen, do you know why Paul had to talk to every congregation he wrote to about unity? Because it's hard to have. And once you have it, hard to keep. Not impossible. Remember, the world's capacity to believe, according to Jesus' prayer, is based on our unity. So while it's incredibly important, vitally important, it's not impossible, even though it's very difficult. So as we approach the voting booth, which seems to be violently dividing our country, I hope you'll hear today what I shared with MCC on Sunday. Your political candidate, and listen, I hope everyone votes. I will be voting. It's a privilege and a responsibility here in America. But the person you vote for will win or lose based on how the citizens of the United States vote next Tuesday. And listen, if your first thought as I say that, if you're thinking right now, but absentee votes and mail-in ballots, listen, you're missing the point. That's not what Jesus is saying. The church wins or loses. The kingdom wins or loses. And in some way, our nation wins or loses based on how we treat each other and love each other and love our world every single day between now and then and afterwards. So for the sake of the kingdom, it's okay to disagree politically, but love unconditionally and pray and behave as if the success of the kingdom depends on our unity. Please stop arguing on social media and with your family and your friends. And for the love of the kingdom, may we unify around loving God and loving people and living on mission. Because Jesus prayed for it. And because the world will believe God sent Jesus if we will fight hardest for unity. Hey, I hope you have a great week, and I hope you vote.